Hi, this is Gary with MACMOST.com. Let me show you several different ways that your Mac can speak text to you. So sometimes it will be nice to have your Mac actually just speak text out loud to you rather than having to read it on the screen. Perhaps you want to sit back and enjoy listening to an article instead of reading it, or perhaps reading it on the screen isn't an option for you. The first way is the simplest, and that's just use a menu command. So it's best to start off by selecting some text, so it'll only speak that selection to you. Then you want to just go to the Edit menu, and you'll find a speech item here. There are just two submenu items in it, Start Speaking and Stop Speaking. Select Start Speaking, and it will speak the selected text.
The James Webb Space Telescope, JWST, is a space telescope designed to conduct infrared astronomy.
If you have it speak a longer passage, it'll keep going, but you can go to Edit and then Speech, Stop Speaking to interrupt it. Now, you can also use the context menu to do this, which in a lot of cases is easier than going to the menu bar. So you select some text like before, but now you're going to Control-click, right-click, or two-finger click on a trackpad to bring up the context menu, and you'll find Speech here as well, and you can start speaking and stop speaking. Now, if you don't have any text selected, it's going to try to read the entire page to you. And that includes lots of buttons and other controls. So you probably don't want to do this, especially with a web page.
Jump to Content, Main Menu, Search, Appearance, Donate, Create Account.
But a better option is to switch into Reader mode. You can do it with this button up here, or you can go to View, Show Reader. And this tries to isolate just the article part of the web page you're looking at. And then if you ask it just to speak from here, all it has is the headline and article, which will be a lot better. So now I'll go to Speech, Start Speaking.
James Webb Space Telescope. The James Webb Space Telescope, JWST, is a space telescope designed to conduct.
It's going to keep going until you use the Stop Speaking command. It's also often a lot easier to select text once you're in the reader view as well, and then use the menu bar or the context menu to have it start speaking. Now, whether you use the menu bar or the context menu, it's a little hard to have it start and stop speaking, but you can assign keyboard shortcuts to these menu commands to make it easier. So I'm going to go into System Settings, and then I'm going to go to Keyboard, and I'm going to go to Keyboard Shortcuts, a button there. Then I'm going to go to App Shortcuts, which is where you can add custom shortcuts. I'm going to click the plus button here. I'm going to stick with all applications so I can use this everywhere. And I'm going to type the menu title. It has to be exactly what the menu title is, which is Start Speaking. And then I'm going to assign a keyboard shortcut. I'm going to use Option, Command, and S. Then I'm going to do another one for Stop Speaking. And for that, I'm going to use Shift, Option, Command, S. And then I can see those both listed under All Applications here. So now when I'm back in Safari, I should check in the Edit menu under Speech to make sure that I typed the names of those menu items correctly. I should seek the keyboard shortcuts here if I did. Now I can use the keyboard shortcuts to both start
The James Webb Space
and
Telescope.
stop speaking. If you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 3,000 others that support MacMost through Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. You can read about it at MacMost.com/Patreon. Now, there's a lot you can change about how this sounds. You'll find those settings in System Settings as well. And they are under Accessibility, even though we haven't really been using an accessibility feature. If you go to Read and Speak, you'll see System Voice here, and this is where you can change the voice that is used. You'll get more options if you click the I button here, and then you click Voice at the top, and now you can see all the voices, preview them, and download new ones that you don't have on your Mac yet. You also have the options here for rate, pitch, and volume, and you can adjust those as you like. Now, that's just one way to have text spoken to you. Another way is to use a special accessibility feature. So we're going to go into System Settings again, and we're going to go to Accessibility and then back to that same place, Read and Speak. But we're going to look this time at Speak Selection. I'm going to turn it on, and then I'm going to click the I button next to it. And here I can customize a lot of things about this feature. The first thing I customize is the keyboard shortcut. Option Escape is the default, but you can switch it to whatever you want. You could also change how content is highlighted on the screen because it's going to show you what word is being read as it's being read. So you can have it be whole words or sentences or turn this feature off. You can set the word color and sentence color, and you can have it underlined instead of highlighted. And you can have this controller that is shown automatically, never, or always. I'll leave it as automatically so it only shows when we're using this feature. So now that I've set all that up, I can select some text again. I'll select this whole first paragraph here, and I will use Option Escape to have it start speaking. You could see the highlight there of the words. The controls allow me to pause and resume. I can move these controls around and dismiss them. I can change the speed by clicking here and have it go at different speeds. I can jump back or forwards or just stop altogether. You can see the controller was only there while it was doing it. So I can go into System Settings and then back to that same place, Read and Speak, and then I could have the controller always be on. And in that case, I have the controller there, so I don't even have to use the keyboard shortcut anymore. I can select some text like this and then just press play. So this is a much more advanced feature, but it's just as easy to use as the menu command. But there's one more way to do it that I want to show you. Let's go back here into System Settings again and Accessibility and Read and Speak. And here you'll find the Accessibility Reader. I'm going to turn off Speak Selection and instead turn on Accessibility Reader. I'm going to look at the options, and the most important one here is the keyboard shortcut. In this case, Command Escape rather than Option Escape for speak selection. I can also select whether or not it autoplays, so starts speaking immediately, or waits for further instructions once I invoke the Accessibility Reader. So with Accessibility Reader, you don't select text. It doesn't matter what's actually selected. When you use Command Escape, it'll bring up Accessibility Reader with the content that's displayed in the app you're using. In this case, this web page, which is going to include all this navigation and controls and everything before it even gets to the article. So you probably don't want to use it quite like that. If you're looking at a web page, you probably first want to go to Reader View like that, and then bring up Accessibility Reader. And now it'll just display the article. If you're viewing a PDF in preview or you're working with a document in Pages, you don't need to do that, of course. It should just bring up the content that's there in that document. So now here in the Accessibility Reader, I get some different things. One is I get a controller here at the top that shows me a time, and I can play this just like I'm playing a bit of audio. So I can play, and you could see how it starts speaking and it highlights the text. I can stop, I can jump back or forward. I can click here to change the speed. I can click here and actually change a lot about what's shown, including the text color, background color, the font used, spacing, and everything. So this is really meant not just for hearing the text spoken to you, but actually seeing it at the same time that it's being read to you. It's a really cool advanced way to have text spoken to you on a Mac. So there are 3 really good options for having text spoken to you using built-in macOS functionality. You can use the very simple, straightforward menu command or assign a keyboard shortcut to it. You can use speak selection to have a slightly more advanced way of doing it with a controller, or you can use the Accessibility Reader for a very advanced way of viewing and hearing the text spoken to at the same time. I hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. Want to know about every new MACMOST video each week? Sign up for the absolutely free MACMOST email newsletter at macmost.com/newsletter.